Hello, Ringette fans. Welcome to the Slush Puppy Center. We have a big game full of Ringette for you today. I'd like to welcome myself and Louis today.
Hi, Emily. How's it going?
It's great. Happy to have a full day of Ringette.
Yes, ma'am.
A historical full day Ringette. Welcome to our CBC fans. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's an early one. We'll have lots of action here for you today with Gatineau Fusion taking on Cambridge Turbos in our last Eastern hub before the Canadian National Championships come up in Ottawa in just a few short weeks.
We're going to have a small bunny team coming on just before the official game. We'll present the players to you at home. It'll be the Tarantulas coming on ice, which we can see down on our left. These young players are going to have an excellent opportunity.
And this is great memories for them.
Exactly.
Exciting to have that connection with the local team, show them what their future could look like.
Merci tout le monde à la maison d'être parmi nous à ce premier match du hub à l'Arena Slush Puppy. Les équipes qui s'affrontent aujourd'hui, les Turbos contre Fusion. Nous allons avoir un petit match d'exhibition des petites moustiques, les tarentules, qui sont sur la glace à ma gauche. Nous allons présenter les jeunes joueuses un coup que le match débutera. Je remercie beaucoup Émilie d'être à mes côtés. Émilie, une dame d'expérience. Donc, elle va pouvoir me guider. Si je vous dirais que je ne suis pas stressé, je mentirais.
Now, Lou, the last time these two teams met was January 25th, with Fusion taking the win 8-3. These two teams have faced each other twice this season, with Fusion taking the win in both times. Turbos have had a bit of a tough season so far. They've only come away with one regulation win, one shootout win, and one shootout loss. So at this point for them, everyone still gets to go to compete at nationals. It'll just depend on the seeding and what pool they'll be part of. So Turbos looking for another win to close out the regular season. Again, this is the last Eastern hub before nationals start. We have another Western hub happening next weekend in Morinville, Alberta. So tune into that as well. That won't be on CBC, but you'll be able to catch that on stream. Again, these teams have come together twice before.
De mon côté, c'est la première fois que je vois une des équipes de Cambridge, les Turbos. Les Turbos en orange, évidemment. Gatineau, Fusion en bleu. De par leur warm-up, c'est leur deuxième match de la saison. Troisième, désolé. Ils se sont affrontés déjà 2 ans. 2 fois. Il reste 20 secondes à leur warm-up. Ensuite de ça, les petites moustiques seront prêtes à embarquer sur la glace pour ce match d'exhibition.
Now both teams have 2 goaltenders. They look like both of them have been splitting the games. So we'll see who gets to start out this morning, as the Tarantulas get to join Fusion in their big cheer before the game starts.
Usually, Emily, these two teams, do they split goalies a half game or they run the whole game?
Usually they'll run the whole game.
They run the whole
Yeah.
game, okay.
Yeah.
When you look at the stats of these two goalies on each team, the games are really split half and half. The averages are very similar for both teams, both goalies.
Tarantulas are being led by Emily Chenier, team captain. She's making sure they know where to go.
Oh.
It looks like they might be getting a shift this morning. 10 on 5, anyone?
Donc, pour tout le monde à la maison, je vais vous présenter, nom par nom, les tarentules. Oh, on va y aller avec l'hymne national pour débuter.
And we'll stand now for the national anthem. Games of the Eastern Hub of the 2025 National Ringette League season. My name is Emily Renneberg. I'll be calling the game today with my friend Louis Nagy. Louis, we're very excited here. Happy to be at the Slush Puppy Center in Gatineau, kicking things off with the home team.
Yes, ma'am. Very excited to be here with you. Donc, pour les petites tarentules qui viennent de débarquer, le monde à la maison, il y avait Mia Bertrand, Maxime Brousseau, Olivia Marleau, Zoé Bellerose, Océane, Héloïse Durocher, Delphine Laurier, Rosalie Laurier et Adéline Lacombe. Bienvenue tout le monde à la maison. C'est parti!
Nozzle will start things off at center, passing it off easy. She's got a friend waiting, passing it down into the zone. That's picked up by Saint Laurent. Back to Nozzle. Nozzle shoots, and an early save from Caron. Gets that with her blocker, but a rebound picks it back up for Turbos. Turbos on the side of the net. Looking for that shot. Right there is Nozzle. Couldn't quite find it. 20 seconds on that shot clock. Looking for the cycle. Coming around the net. Bit of a change here. Keep those legs moving. 10 seconds on that shot clock. Making a fake back pass. Over across the ice. Just misses that pass, but she'll pick up her own rebound. Get a shot off there. Weibel making a run for the money of Caron. But that'll go for goaltender ring. Now, goalies have 5 seconds to throw it once the whistle is blown. Players cannot go in the goaltender's crease. She makes an easy pass off to a teammate. And Fusion will make their way up the ice, trying to get it off into the neutral zone. It'll get picked off by Turbos for a two-line pass. Turbos coming around the defensive end. Pass over to Lodge. Lodge finding that support in the center of the ice. And a long shot all the way down to Nozzle again. She's looking for that front of net action, but it's just tipped off by Fusion. And Turbos regain it here. Anderson making a pass right over to Newbrand. Newbrand putting the brakes on, giving a bit of a cycle. Nozzle coming in with speed, but picked off by an active defense right on the corner of that triangle. Nozzle doing a back pass, finding its way through the crease, still on that cycle. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Nozzle all the way down to the corner, and a shot right off the post. Ron looked like she might have had a piece of that, but still 0-0. Turbos, fresh legs off the bench, cutting around that crease, trying to find a way through to the goalie. Caron will get the ring. Strong defensive play from Fusion.
A lot of pressure from the Turbos early in this game.
Ring is picked up by Osborne. Osborne finds Chenier. Chenier to center ice. St. Laurent tries to get that pass off, but Turbos pick it up. It remains in the neutral zone. Chenier getting it in. Fusion getting their first opportunity for an offensive play here. Captain puts the ring all the way across the triangle, picked up by her sister, Sophie Chenier. Moisson with a big shot there. Starting that cycle again, 26 seconds on the shot clock. Lots of time, finding gaps within that triangle. Turbo staying strong. Back pass across the top. Wilson taking a look. Getting that feeder all the way down. Not quite finding the net. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Coming out with a big wide turn and a shot on net, and that finds its way through. Fusion, an early lead, 1-0. That ring just snuck right past Sarah Reed, the Turbo goaltender. She's going to want that one back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 3-2 des tirs jusqu'à maintenant. On n'a pas eu beaucoup de up and down. On s'est installé des deux côtés. La gardienne de Cambridge qui a aimé ça sûrement revoir ce tir. Et on repart au centre de la glace.
Turbos will get the center ice free ring. A nice easy back pass to get things started. Finding support down in the zone. Right to Sydney Nozzle. She hits a shot off. Paige Nozzle, rather. And that'll be held by Caron. Already some actions in both sides of the ice. Fusion coming off of the first goal of the game. And we'll get Sydney Nozzle. Passing the ring off, starting the cycle, and it's picked up in the center of the ice by that active forward. Chenier finding a way to get past, but Nozzle's going to pick that ring in the center. She's got one on her. Being forced to move that ring around. Support pass to McGullen. McGullen fighting her way past Plouffe. Back over to Nozzle. Nozzle's got another player on top of her. And they're slowing down that cycle to get a change off. 8 seconds remain on the shot clock. Looking for the pass up front. And that will hit Plouffe's skates. Strong defense here from Fusion. They'll tap that ring right over to Caron, who use her stick to try and pass it through. And that's picked up by Fusion, just poking that ring out of the way of that pass to the center. No problem, Fusion has it back for us, taking the ring, looking for support. Coming down the center, finding it with Chenier. Chenier up through the middle, takes that shot right into the pads of Reed. Could hear that booming shot from up here. And Turbo's fighting in that defensive end, trying to get the ring out. That's the high forward. Newbrand taking it for a skate, finds an open player. Nozzle back over to Newbrand. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Turbo's looking for something. They'll get the reset with the ring hitting the side of Caron there. Great reset. And they'll start the cycle back over. Newbrand tries to take a shot. Just hits the defense, trickles its way through to Caron, but she'll gather it with her glove. Make the quick pass up to Whipple. Whipple, back pass to her partner. Back into the neutral zone. Whipple, she's got two on her and a friendly fire. For those of you joining us that are new to the Ringette fan community, we welcome you. Hello, nice to be able to bring this to you today. The reason that happened, Louis, that whistle was blown down because we have a rule called move it or lose it.
Exactly.
Do you want to explain a little bit more to the people?
Yes, well, if you're the one that has the ring and you're not moving with it and the other person comes and puts her stick in the ring, the person that wasn't moving it at the beginning loses it. So that's why it comes out, move it or lose it.
Absolutely. Lodge making a fake up top. Continuing that cycle, passing it low, another shot low, right on the ice. Caron, no problem, but that rebound will give it back to the Turbos with 25 seconds on the shot clock and a firing shot over from Lodge. She saw that post side. Rebounds picked up by Fusion. Fusion making the backdrop in their own zone. Moving it up the ice, trying to find an open stick, but the Turbos make it there first, finding a support in their own zone. And all the way up front, we're all alone, and Paige Nozzle with amazing save from Stephanie Caron.
Quel arrêt.
Nozzle all by herself. And she'll pick up that ring again. Over to Sid Nozzle, who's coming up front, has the front shot. Again, just tipped up by Caron. She's got a stick on it. They get their own rebound back, but two great looks for the Nozzle sisters. Fusion trying to get it out of their zone, away from pressure. Plouffe has it right now on the side, takes the firing shot, goes a little bit wide. They'll maintain possession here, 17 seconds on that shot clock. Turbo setting up the triangle. Fusion back, making the drive, trying to fake it through. Violette had that over to Plouffe. Tried to pass over to the corner of the triangle as the shot clock winds down. Not able to get that reset. And Sarah Reed will get her 5-second goalie ring. Drop back behind the net to Sunseth. Sunseth trying to find support here. Fusion playing a tight man on, pick up the ring and take it, and that's a goal. An interception from Fusion takes that. We are up 2-0 for Fusion. Just a great play, heads up play, looking for that ring and maintaining that possession to just poke that away right in the middle of center ice there.
Nous sommes rendus à 4 tirs contre la gardienne de Cambridge. Déjà 2 buts. Des beaux buts. Pour tout le monde à la maison, nous avons splitté, Émilie et moi. Elle va s'occuper du côté anglophone pour ce match. Je commenterai les 2 prochains matchs. Et nous allons avoir des entrevues en bas un petit peu entre la 2 et la 3. Donc, bon match tout le monde.
Turbo's looking for one here, sending it, trying to get it through the triangle. Active sticks from Fusion, thwart that. Having the rush up into center ice, picked up by Turbos. Coming around the net with speed, trying to break it out. That'll be a pass over 2 blue lines. If your team has made that pass, the other team has to touch the ring first. It's part of the blue line passing rule we have here in Ringette. Ring goes over to Forrest. Playing it back to St. Laurent. St. Laurent passing it back to Forrest with the drop. Forrest making a move, shooting it, and that's in. Forrest looking for that post, made that little deke. Drop back from St. Laurent, and it's in, 3-0.
The goalie wasn't very well positioned, I find, on that. A little bit too back in her net. But whatever, it's already 3-0 for Gatineau.
Again, these two teams have met each other twice in the season. Fusion coming out with both wins. Turbos only 1 regulation win this season. They are determined and have been playing well offensively. There's just been a few breaks where Fusion's been able to now take over, and Turbos trying to streak right into the zone, picked up by the defense. They'll get their ring back, making a bit of a skate for it. Being pushed off that ring by an active defense. And down low, tries to make the fake, tries to get a push through that triangle, but again, a bit too strong there. Nozzle trying to get up front, a strong center, playing her body and her ring, 10 seconds on the shot clock, fires it, gets it right on the post. Had a great look there, but just a bit too left. Turbos will pick it up in their own end. Start that movement back around into the neutral zone. Gatineau can't quite get that, but gets her stick touching it so Peacock can grab it on the other side of the blue line there. Slow things down as Turbos get a bit of a change here. Right into center. Great look there from Wyville. Wyville just missing that pass. 9 seconds on the shot clock as she'll come up top, firing it. Caron easy into her chest. She'll push that rebound. Back out to play. Lodge now for Turbos. Back pass to Wyville. Wyville turning over back to Wyville, across that triangle, 20 seconds on the shot clock, looking to generate something here. Getting that change. Nozzle taking it behind the net. She's got a friend up top. Does the back pass. Right back over to Nozzle. Nozzle taking it through the triangle, shoots. Karan was already down, but the shot came from too low, and she managed to just squeak into the crease, so that'll go to the goaltender ring.
Tout un arrêt ici de la gardienne de Gatineau. Les tirs au but à l'avantage des Turbos jusqu'à maintenant réussissent pas à enfiler l'aiguille, comme qu'on dit en bon québécois.
Strong coverage there. Plouffe trying to find a pass to someone who's open. Ring bouncing its way between center ice and back in the Gatineau end. There is a delayed call for the Turbos on this one. We will see a penalty here. But as long as Fusion can maintain it, they have the advantage. So 5 on 6, 4 in the zone. Boxing it out, a shot, and that'll go in. On the delayed call, Plouffe squeaking that right past the post of Reed on that 4 on 3 advantage there with the delayed call.
Est-ce qu'on va y aller avec un changement de gardienne? Émilie me fait le signe que oui. Nous sommes rendus à 6 tirs au but contre la gardienne des Turbos avec déjà 4 buts.
So Betke now in for Turbos. It looks like they're swapping goaltenders early. Tough start for Reed. A lot of small mistakes, again, leading to these goals. But a lot of them close to the post, down on the ice. Betke's going to get between the pipes now.
We're going to try to shake up the team a bit by switching goalies.
Turbos keeping possession, pass into the center of the triangle, trying to push around. Strong D, but that will draw a penalty to Fusion. Fusion on the delayed call. Turbos, Betke's skating as hard as she can to the net. Turbos will get 4 on 3, setting up typically in what we call a box. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Again, delayed penalty for Fusion. Fusion playing their triangle, 10 seconds on that shot clock. Turbos trying to play it to the top, nozzle to nozzle, and a firing shot goes just wide of the post. 3 seconds on the shot clock, looking for a reset here. Can't quite get anything on net. Time will expire on the shot clock, which means we're going to the box. And Betke gets to go back to her net now. Big long skate for her.
On va avoir 2 minutes pour accrocher.
So Vandal will go to the box for hooking, 2 minutes for hooking. Technically our first penalty of today's game. There was a delayed call on the last Fusion goal. But because they scored, Turbos didn't have to go to the box. So we'll start with the ring for Fusion in their own zone. Playing 5 on 4 as the Turbos have the advantage. Nozzle fighting in the center with Chenier. Trying to get it off, but flicks it into enemy territory. Chenier coming across the line, fakes it twice. Back pass was another fake. Coming back around, she's got lots of time, 20 seconds on that shot clock. Passing it over. Turbos maintaining that triangle, long stretch pass again, right over across the top. Pushing far out to maintain that space. Fusion gets a shot on net, which will cause a reset. Their shot clock was winding down, and now they're switching up some of their players to keep things fresh. Again, they are on the player disadvantage here. They're playing with 4 due to the penalty. Back pass goes wrong right over to Nozzle, who picks it up and sends it over into center ice. Sydney Nozzle skating hard to try and pick that up in the corner, but Fusion passing it off for support in their own zone. A minute remaining on the penalty to Fusion.
Last minute of play in the first period.
Turbos have the player advantage. They're looking for an opening here. Coming across the line. Wyville sneaks it right through. Still looking for an outlet here. She slows down, starts the cycle. 13 seconds on the shot clock, passing it off to Lodge. Lodge fires. Another big pad save by Karan, and then Ring goes to the front. Almost had an opportunity there from Babineau to get it right off the backhand of her stick. Defense met her there, and now it's up for Chenier. Chenier coming in right on that side. Had a bit too much steam, goes right past. Not enough opportunity for space with the Turbo defense making their claim, passing it through, and a sliding shot over from looped right through the pads of Betke.
Second shot on the new goalie and already a goal.
And a short-handed one at that. Fusion 5-0. Just a strong fire right on the ice, which, you know, those kinds of shots look a little bit easier, but as a ringette player, you're usually trained to go high. So to think to go low and just put a lot of power into it can sometimes throw off goaltenders, especially if you do see that space.
Like they say, it's always harder to drop down than to stay up.
Turbo's looking for the last pusher, 9 seconds on the clock, trying to get something off. Being pressured by the defense. Nozzle up front, back pass. And Newbrand was just about to pick up that ring as time expired in the first quarter of today's matchup. Lots of action in that first quarter. We've got 3 more to go. Louis, what do you think?
Well, I can't say that the Turbos are not playing well, but the goalie, I think, is really making a difference on Gatineau's side until now.
Stephanie Caron, she's played 9 of the 19 games to date. She's got 1 win, 4 losses. Her save percentage is .877, so I think she's definitely proving against that stat at the moment. A lot of the shots coming from the Turbos are hitting her right in the pads, but a few really close looks. There were a couple shots right along those post areas, right in the top corner, where just a few centimeters left or right could have made a difference for the Turbos. They're definitely fighting.
They still got 3 periods to come back up. C'est un match pour l'instant à sens unique pour Gatineau. Malgré que les Turbos mettent beaucoup de pression. La gardienne de but de Gatineau, selon nous, fait vraiment la différence dans le match jusqu'à maintenant. Quelques commanditaires pour le Fusion. Nous avons l'imprimerie Grégoire, laiterie Outaouais et Milano Pizza. On se prépare pour la deuxième période. Pour le monde à la maison, c'est 4 périodes de 13 minutes. 5-0 la marque pour Gatineau. Et entre la 2 et la 3, nous allons aller en direct en bas pour une entrevue. Demi-match. Bonne deuxième période, tout le monde.
Becky staying in net for Turbos as we get into the second quarter here. Fusion had the ring, couldn't quite get that freely over the blue line. Playing the man here, making it hard for Turbos to get it out of their own zone. Fusion tips that ring right over the blue line, so Turbos will get an opportunity here. Babineau back along the short boards over to Weibel. Weibel takes a shot. She's looking for that reset, gets it. Has the rebound to herself. Her teammates are going to do a bit of a quick change here, so she'll have a bit of a skate with 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. She drops it back to Nozzle. Nozzle, long skate, back around on her backhand. Over to her sister, Sid Nozzle. Nozzle, a shot there. They have been slightly deflected by a Fusion stick, but we've got 2 Turbo players right on the defense. Nozzle to Nozzle. Nozzle to Newbrand. Newbrand faking it, shot.
Nice save.
A blocker saved by Caron, sliding into that one. A quick look from Newbrand off the fast pass. And now there's the battle behind the net. Fusion wants it in their own zone. Bouncing ring, hard to stab.
Big pressure from the Turbos.
Turbos are not going to go down easy. Lots of time remaining in this ringette game. 13-minute quarters, and we still got 3 remaining. St. Laurent looking for an outlet. She's got almost no time left on the shot clock. Finds over to Whipple. Whipple takes the shot, fires it right on the doorstep. She was all by herself. Right onto Betke. There was no chance. She let that go as soon as she received that ring with about 4 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Great urgency from Fusion. Another tough break for the Turbos. Still trying to fight for that first goal, but Fusion just not giving up on this one.
The defense that collapses on this play. The girls left all alone on the left side, of the goalie. one-timer goal.
Turbos bringing it inside with Wyville. Wyville trying to make a move past the triangle. Gets across the crease, shoots it high. Had another good look there. Caron using her stick to just push that ring out, but it finds enemy territory instead. Turbos facing some pressure there. Again, that move it or lose it rule coming into play there. So the ring will go back to Caron. Picked up by Turbos. A tough pass behind that net. Full shot clock here as they start the cycle. Taking it back, and it's winding shot there from Anderson. She had a look by the posts. Ron was able to take it and pass it off. Fusion. Moving the ring around in their own zone, finding those supports, wasting time. Turbos doing a great job of forcing them to waste time. Whipple picking it up. They've got 8 seconds on that shot clock. Wilson taking it in. Triangles just sort of showed up. And Betke will get one of her first few saves of this game so far. Again, she swapped with Reed earlier in the first. She's finding her bearings now as Fusion takes the ring into the center. Support back into the defensive zone. Over to Plouffe. Plouffe trying to find space. Newbrand right on top of her. And finds the open ice in the center. Forrest skating around. Finds the drop pass over to Plouffe. Plouffe getting pushed outside, but finds the reset right on the goalie's skate. So that'll give Fusion an extra 30 seconds on the shot clock. Plouffe slowing things down. Making the back pass over to Violette. Violette fakes it, waiting for her teammates to change. Cycle across the top, forcing right through the triangle, down low. No shot from Chenier quite yet. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Violette just missing that pass. 4 seconds remaining, takes it, and that goes right over Betke's shoulder, but goes wide.
Was looking on that one.
Currently picked up by Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy moving that over to Nozzle. Nozzle down over into the offensive zone, but Fusion is trying to battle hard to keep that ring themselves. Bouncing ring goes into the center ice. Connection in the neutral zone. Wyville down to Lodge. Lodge looking for something here on the back. Back to Wyville. Wyville to Lodge. Lodge fires. Sliding save from Caron. Great tic-tac-toe there from Turbos, but Caron has been playing well today. Won't let that go so easily. Wyville winning that battle on the boards, coming across the triangle, is not even set up yet, giving herself some time to get the pass off to Nozzle, who's just made the switch. Cycling Sid Nozzle, taking the opportunity, 13 seconds, and stopped by the sticks of the defensive Fusion players. And the defensive cycle will begin again for Fusion. Chenier passing it all the way up front, just a little bit too far for that one-on-one opportunity. Had the space, 10 seconds on the shot clock for Fusion. Making that boards pass, trying to get that reset off the post. Didn't work, no indication from the official. But Turbos will go and violate the crease, meaning they went in the crease. So you're not allowed to do that in the net. So the ring will go back to Fusion.
Jusqu'à maintenant, on peut voir, même les gens à la maison, la grosse différence des gardiennes dans les buts et la défensive de Gatineau.
Fusion starting that cycle. Trying to find the opening here. Passing around outside the triangle and a shot from Mersen, and that's in. That's another goal from Fusion. Taking it from the outside, far away from the triangle, just finding that top corner. Becky's a smaller goaltender. There was a lot of space there up top. There was a lot of space to play. Those quick passes helps the flow. And that shot finds the back of the net.
The defense of the Turbos just can't follow the quick speed of Gatineau since the beginning of the game.
Turbos with the ring, breaking it in with speed. Coming in, Lodge looking for something. Can't quite find the opening. She'll start the cycle, turning around, back pass through the legs. And back to Lodge, who fires it on her backhand, just a little bit too wide. But the spear ring will go to Wyville as she's got 18 seconds on the shot clock. Coming across the top, firing it with a lot of power, gets the reset, gets the rebound, fighting for it still, right in that back net corner. Fusion will gain possession once again, trying to move it out of their own zone. Picked up by Babineau. Babineau, she's got space one-on-one here, takes a firing shot, goes a little bit wide. Great opportunity there, picked off by Babineau. She'll go off as her teammates continue the cycle. Looking for something here for their first goal. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Nozzle right through the triangle. No goal. She'll have walked through the crease on that one. A great shot right to the top corner. But again, in ringette, you cannot go into the goaltender's crease. So that will be a no-goal for Turbos. Picking up the check. Great offensive and defensive action in the neutral zone there. Turbos coming out on top. Shaughnessy looking for somebody. Trying to find those orange jerseys amongst the blue. And moving it up front. Almost an opportunity there for a one-on-one. Bowman passing it along. Watch, it's another shot. She likes that short side. And then the shot clock will expire. Ron passing it over. Fusion picking up some speed here. Chenier right over St. Laurent. St. Laurent looking. Gets pushed out to the side of the triangle. Turbo starting to set up. Back pass coming in across the top. Stepping into the triangle. Passing it to St. Laurent. St. Laurent fires it. Had that opening, but just thwarted. They'll continue with the ring. 27 seconds on the shot clock. Chenier over to St. Laurent. Chenier keeps it. Moving the ring outside the triangle, wide, faking it back. Now passing it back. Forrest trying to find an opening, whether that's the net or a player. Ring falls into outside the zone. 2 seconds on the shot clock, just trying to get a reset. And that last-ditch effort with a bouncing ring could have been a disaster for Turbos, but bounces on the top of the net instead.
Du côté de Cambridge, on essaye de changer un petit peu le style de jeu. Le dernier but a failli être compté en fonçant le net. Donc, changement de stratégie ici pour Cambridge. 7-0 la marque. Malgré tout, les tirs au but sont quasiment égales.
Shaughnessy taking it at center. Looking for an orange jersey, finding it in Nozzle. Paige Nozzle over to Newbrand. Newbrand over to Sid Nozzle. Back to Paige Nozzle. 9 seconds on the shot clock, getting it back over to Newbrand. Newbrand's got some pressure there along the line. They'll get a reset back on that play. Fighting for it is Newbrand. She comes out on top, tries to get something there. Looked like it came across the top of the net, right along the crossbar. Almost finding the back of the net. She had some speed coming into that one. I think she's ready for a goal.
The Gatineau goalie is seeing the ring like if it was as big as a beach ball.
Turbos will get the offensive free ring. They've pulled their goaltender with 4 minutes remaining in the second of 4 quarters. So they'll have 4 in the zone, setting up in what we call a box with those 4 corners, contrasting the 3 corners of the triangle for Fusion. Moving the ring across. Nozzle looking for an opportunity, sending it low, firing it. As Paige Nozzle gets the back of the net, but she was quick on it. Trying to create some speed here and some energy, taking a shot again. Nozzle right into the chest of Karam, but she gets back up, gets that ring, passes it low. 23 seconds on the shot clock. Goalie still pulled, 4 in the zone.
On va retirer la gardienne du côté des Turbos, essayer de mettre...
And that'll go in. Turbos with their first goal.
Good move to pull out the goalie. We're going all in.
Definitely a gutsy move at this part of the game. Early but it pays off. Turbos coming away with their first goal of the game, 7-1, taking it back within 6. Now that was just a great play. They had the 4 in the zone because they could pull the goalie. And when the goalie's pulled, you're allowed 4 in the zone. If the goalie's not pulled, you can only have 3. Sometimes that extra player takes away some of the space that you typically experience as a 3-on-3, but often it's so overwhelming that it can create some great chances for goals, as we just saw there. Turbo's looking to follow that one up. Gatineau getting checked off that ring by Forrest. Feeling that pressure in the middle. She's getting it off to Violette. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Turbo's setting up that triangle. Fusion looking like they might have a bit of a set play here with 2 in the zone, now 3. Plouffe tries to get the pass off, but she'll be met with some defensive action there. McGillen skating hard to that ring to get that along the boards. Play will get whistled down. Fusion getting the ring back in the offensive zone.
Nous sommes encore à 7-1 la marque. On a pu voir sur le dernier but comment est-ce que la gardienne a été compromise sur le jeu, la feinte, la gardienne qui a mordu, disons. Et Cambridge ont pu finalement s'inscrire au compteur.
Fusion playing tic-tac-toe here with Violette. Right back over to Plouffe. Back to Violette. Keeping that ring moving with speed. 9 seconds on the shot clock. That'll be a delayed call from Turbos. Fusion trying to pick it up. We'll get the reset. They've got time. Goalie is pulled. They'll send the 4th player into the zone. Turbos again on the delayed call. Plouffe taking the ring, stepping it, sees that far post. There was space there, but just goes wide. 12 seconds remain on the shot clock as they box things out. Back over to Plouffe. Plouffe fires it right on the opposite end of the net, short side, just low to the ice, and puts her team back up within the spread of 7.
Not easy for the Turbos this morning. I'm sure they would have liked another outcome. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Gatineau defense, but it's just not working. I really think that the defense and the goalies are making a huge difference for Gatineau in this game.
Still have just over half of the game to play. Ringette is quite a high-scoring game, so this is not necessarily going to be a blowout. And a bearing shot here from Turbos. Peacock had a great look out front. Already looking for that cycle. They're pulling their goaltender again. Becky going off. They're going to send in a 4th player. It worked the last time. They want it to work this time. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Babineau. She fights her way through that triangle, right through the legs, and she takes it in. 2 goals for Babineau. She puts her team up again within 6. She can spot that area quite well. She weaves through the center and the D right on the lower end of that triangle. She forces them to make a move and just pushes tight to that crease. And she manages to still see the 5-hole and not walk into the crease, which is a hard thing to do.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was saying a little earlier on. I think that the Turbos are going to try to, like we say, crash the net a little bit more, trying to force their way towards the goalie instead of shooting from far away.
So Turbos making good on 2 gutsy calls to pull their goaltender and add that 4th player into the zone.
It worked both times.
It worked both times. And now Fusion again trying to get that back. Long stretch pass right over to the opposite side of the ice. 7 seconds on the shot clock, fighting to maintain that possession. Fusion making use of that open neutral zone. A missed pass will give it back to Turbos. Shaughnessy skating, looking, getting pressure, passing it back off to McGillen. McGillen now 2-on-1, but that'll be a delayed penalty as well for Fusion. That'll just get blown down. That'll be a 2-minute boarding call for Julia Wilson. Just a little bit too much on that 2-on-1. Yep. A little bit too much pressure, playing the body more than playing the ring, and that's what got her in trouble right on the boards.
And once again, the goalie is back on the bench.
They'll try it for a third time. Third time's the charm is what they say.
Exactly.
So not only is there a extra player in the zone, goalie's out of the net. 38 seconds remain in this quarter, which will take us into the half, but Turbos want to bring this game within closer margin before we walk into that. Wyville taking it now. Right over to Nozzle. Nozzle low. Right into that firing shot from Sid Nozzle. Had a good look, a little bit too tight. Karan was there. Sunseth over to Nozzle. Nozzle back to Sunseth. Just a bit too much power to put that up. 9 seconds remain and a firing shot from Wyville. Short side, very tight angle. Hard to score from that, but can sweep one through if they get lucky. But that will take us to the end of the second quarter. Turbos up 8-2. The Fusion is up 8-2. A lot of pressure from Fusion on Turbos. A lot of great opportunities for Turbos to try and make a difference here. They've had some good looks on net. Karan standing on her head a number of times to make sure that that was not the case. Turbos have been struggling a bit this season, walking away with one regular season win, one shootout win. And Fusion is a tough one to beat. They've been faced each other twice already this season. They will face each other twice this weekend. And just an all-around exciting first half. So thank you all for joining us here at the Slush Puppy Center in Gatineau for a historic ringette weekend. Hopefully we're coming to you from CBC. Don't go away, we will have much more action. This is not a blowout game so far. Ringette can be a high-scoring game, so I encourage everyone to come back and see what happens next.
Bonjour, nous sommes ici avec Émilie Chénier.
Sarah Poupée.
Sarah Plouffe, désolé, excuse-moi. Sarah, ça va bien?
Oui, toi?
Oui, ça va très bien. C'est 8-2 la marque pour Gatineau. Est-ce que tu peux me conter un petit peu votre première moitié de match?
Première moitié de match, je trouve qu'on était on a été un peu surprise au départ. On était un peu pris sur les talons, mais on a été vraiment efficace sur nos buts. Donc, on a vraiment capitalisé là-dessus. Même s'il y avait un peu plus de tirs au filet, je pense que nous, on a été plus optimistes et on a compté plusieurs buts. Je pense que ça fait du bien. On a beaucoup travaillé aussi ces derniers temps sur nos pénalités parce que nous, on en prend beaucoup d'habitude, mais là, je trouve qu'on est vraiment bonne à date. Donc, on veut tenir ça comme ça, puis on est vraiment contente du score en ce moment.
Parfait. Pour l'instant, les 2 fois qu'ils ont tiré leur gardienne de but ont réussi à marquer 2 fois. La clé du match, c'est peut-être pas être trop puni de votre côté non plus pour faire des 3 contre 2, des avantages numériques dans le fond.
Oui, c'est ça. Nous, c'est ça, aussitôt qu'il y a des pénalités, c'est là que ça vient jouer sur notre mental, sur notre efficacité. Mais à date, c'était vraiment des beaux buts quand même. Donc, notre goaleuse est vraiment dedans en ce moment. Puis on adore ça, elle fait des super belles arrêts. Donc, on continue comme ça.
Pour toi, ça veut dire quoi présenter la ringuette à CBC, passer à la TV en direct? Est-ce que ça vous met un stress de plus pendant vos matchs ou c'est une journée normale au bureau?
Je dirais pas que ça met un stress de plus. Je pense que c'est plus une excitation de voir que notre sport prend un peu plus d'envergure. On est habitué que les games soient filmés, mais là, de voir qu'on va être en direct puis on est sur la télé, c'est encore plus excitant pour nous. Donc, je pense pas que ça met un stress de plus. Je pense juste que les filles sont plus fébriles à l'idée de passer une nouvelle étape.
OK, super. Mais je te remercie beaucoup et bonne fin de match.
Merci.
Merci, bye.
Ringette Canada est fier d'être le premier organisme sportif au Canada de s'affilier au Ability Center sous la bannière de Mixed Ability Sport Canada. Ringette Canada est fier d'être le premier organisme sportif au Canada de s'affilier au Ability Center sous la bannière de Mixed Ability Sport Canada. Notre but est de créer un modèle de sport inclusif qui va contribuer et améliorer la santé mentale, sociale et physique de tous les Canadiens.
We started the first ringette team for children of different abilities, children with physical and cognitive disabilities. So that's how it started, and then it just evolved to having no barriers to participation. And now we are a mixed ability team where we have all levels, all ages of participants, and it is absolutely amazing.
Good job. You got it. You're a rock star.
RFA has given our kids an opportunity to play with a bunch of kids and build friendships that they wouldn't have otherwise had.
It's been a real booster for her to feel like she's part of a group and that they're having fun and they're playing, they're learning.
Yes. When I first started playing, I got my best friend's old ringette stick, and she saved a bunch of goals in that stick for me, and I ended up getting my first wrist shot with that stick.
Il y a un impact sur la confiance de soi, sur notre santé mentale, notre santé physique. Mais sur une équipe d'habileté mixte, ces bénéfices sont amplifiés encore plus. Nous avons un groupe complètement divers depuis les dernières quelques années. Nous avons des enfants avec handicap cognitif, handicap physique.
A lot of our skaters are just learning how to skate, which is a good thing. I just love how they're developing every single season.
We'll need you out there anyways.
Yes.
Right? We'll need you out there.
All right. Now remember the volunteer goal.
Hi, my name is Jade and we're in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. We are at the Air Tindy Float Base here in Yellowknife Territories at this beautiful outdoor rink playing some ringette with Ringette Canada. Yeah, this is the best day of my life. I haven't played ringette for over a year since my last game with Laurentian. So for Ringette Canada to bring ringette to Yellowknife, this absolutely made my day. I think everybody should play ringette and it's great to see it here in the Northwest Territories.
Puis pourquoi tu me parles de même? C'est comme on Puis peut-être eux autres, c'est ça qui leur a été dit de faire et tout. Mais c'est qu'on n'entendait pas, c'est ça que j'ai dit après. Je dis, ce que tu as fait tantôt, j'ai dit, on n'entend absolument rien. Ouais, mais quand t'aimes ça.
J'aime ça, mais là, c'était le temps de changer de. Puis là, en plus, ça a commencé à dire arrête de crier après moi. C'est bon.
Ici, la terre, c'est pas facile.
Je suis capable de t'encourager ou de te dire pour t'améliorer des choses. J'arriverai jamais à dire à ma fille comme t'es pourri aujourd'hui. Jamais je ferai ça.
Il est juste capable d'entendre son père. Regarde, il travaille dans le il y a des coachs. Non, il n'est pas dans l'arrière du verre. Oh, il n'est pas dans l'arrière du verre? Non. Cette année, pas cette année. Des fois, c'est mieux de moi. Ben, ça fait longtemps que je disais, mais... Attends, il n'aime pas ça. Nathan, lui, c'est que ça faisait de la pression. Nathan, il n'est pas capable. Monsieur Charette, lui, c'est Monsieur Pression. Ben, Patrice. Monsieur Patrice. C'est la pression. C'est ça.
On ne voit pas. Moi,
Welcome back, Ringette fans, to the Slush Puppy Center here in beautiful Gatineau, Quebec. My name is Emily Renneberg. I'm here with the wonderful Louis Nagy.
Hi, Emily. How's it going?
Louis, we've had a wonderful half of this game so far. A lot of action. Perhaps the Turbos are looking for a little bit more on the goal side, but they had a lot of offensive opportunity.
Yeah.
Fusion just taking things away from them in key moments. Caron, she's been playing very well. We're excited for the second half.
Well, I was just downstairs for one of the mid-game interviews, and I saw the girls from the Turbos, and like everybody's smiling down there, and the girls are excited to get back on the ice. And there's still a lot of ringette to be played here.
Each quarter is 13 minutes, so 26 minutes left of play here as Turbos get it inside the zone already, passing it up on front. Nozzle, she had a space and time, couldn't pick it up. Shaughnessy in neutral zone. Quick pass down into the corner to Newbrand. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Turbos, passing it up front. Nozzle to Nozzle, and just missing that stab right in the area that they needed it. And a quick shot on Caron allows the reset to happen, but the ring will bounce out to Fusion. A spinning move, trying to get past the 2-on-1. She breaks free, getting the ring down to Plouffe in the corner. Great play there from Vandal to get it out of her own zone with the pressure from the Turbos. 9 seconds on the shot clock, getting a bit of a switch up here. Fusion finding the back of the net for that reset, didn't get it, and the shot clock will expire. Already a little bit more of a 2-on-1 system that the Turbos seem to be playing. We'll keep an eye on that. That'll be an adjustment from their first half, but something definitely needs to change for them to bring this game back within the margins. Keeping the ring moving, lots of energy here to start the third quarter. Sunset right over to Lodge. Lodge fires it, turning to make sure she could shoot on her forehand. Just goes slightly wide as shot clock winds down, and that loose ring goes to center. Passing it off, Chenier's by herself, taking it down the middle.
Nice save.
Right into Betke. Betke's pads covering that easily. Great opportunity there for Chenier. She had time and space, but Betke is locked in. Taking over from Reed in the first period. She's got another shot there and a big save. Sliding around in her crease. Those dark pads.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes a little bit harder to read. Fusion taking an opportunity here to use the shot clock, keeping things outside the triangle, passing it around. Chenier, a stick check there from the low D. Chenier fakes it back, makes the back pass. Over back to Chenier, fires it, knocks the water bottle off with absolutely no room to spare. An amazing shot up top.
Unbelievable. Tout un but ici, un top net qu'on peut voir sur la reprise. On fait déplacer la gardienne de gauche à droite. Émilie m'en parlait un petit peu plus tôt, les jambières noires d'une gardienne. J'ai toujours été un fan. Les jambières blanches, évidemment, on a de la misère à voir la distinction entre la glace et les jambières. Les jambières noires, on peut bien les voir. Donc, tout un top net ici et porte la marque à 9-2. Le match à sens unique continue du côté de Gatineau.
Again, a beautiful shot off from Emily Chenier. And no surprise there, she leads the team in goals scored as of now, in assists as well. She's a big point grabber at 54 on the season. That'll put her back up as well. She's got points in this game. And no chance for Betke, who's been challenged in this game already. Turbos trying to win possession back here in the neutral zone. Lots of stick checks and fighting on the newly Zamboni'd ice. Taking things for a bit of a skate here. 19 seconds on the shot clock. Tries to get a shot there, but it's deflected by Turbo defense. 2-on-1 in that corner, taking that center away from space, but the ring remains on the outside. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Backhand shot right on the corner. They're trying to get that reset shot. Just a sliding opportunity right there in front of Betke. She doesn't get a piece of it though, so the shot clock will expire and ring will go back into possession of the Turbos. Betke will have 5 seconds to pass the ring, as is with goaltender ring. She makes it look easy, putting it behind the net for her teammates. Babineau facing almost a 3-on-1 there. Gets picked off, but loose ring goes to a friendly orange jersey. Lodge getting picked up by Plouffe right in the center. 2-on-1 there again. That stick check forcing the player to make a quick decision on the pass. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Turbos turning to get the reset. But again, not enough time for them.
I'm wondering, Emily, when I'm looking at these two teams and their ages of the players, Gatineau their players are much more, how do I say, not as young.
Experienced, perhaps.
They're more experienced, exactly. So I don't know if it's playing a lot on the ice. I mean, if we can see the difference because of these girls has so much more experience than the Turbos.
Caron will go to her net with a delayed call on Turbos here. And an opportunity here for the 4-on-3. Firing it low, but just past Becky. Fusion will be up with 10 goals. And I think that's a good point to bring up, Louis.
Experience.
I think experience is definitely a big component of this league. It can be quite a tough transition to go from U19 into the NRL. A big jump. There's a lot of, new things to navigate. It's a whole different caliber. New people to meet, people you haven't necessarily played with. And some of those, more experienced players can often make the difference. For instance, Stephanie Caron has had 12 years in this league.
Exactly.
So she's probably seen a lot.
Speed, execution, skating.
And then you get used to each other as well.
Exactly.
You've got a more experienced team. It's likely that they've played together before. And we see, there are different eras of the NRL where some teams, they lock in their talent and that's who they play with for a few years. And then we get some churning with retirements and new rookies coming into play. So Turbos trying to find an opportunity there, but picked off by Fusion. Again, going behind the net. Passing it up with speed. Chenier coming in to pick up that pass again. She made it happen in her own zone, sliding across the crease. Instead of taking that shot, she came in with lots of speed, making that move all the way from her own zone. 9 seconds on the shot clock. St. Laurent trying to find an opening here, comes across the top, fires it, just sneaks it past Becky. It bounces off the post. So she's able to keep it out and looking for somewhere to throw it, but great pressure from Fusion. Didn't let her find any outlets for that goalie pass, so 5 seconds did expire, meeting the ring. We'll go back to Fusion for the offensive free ring.
And we came back with the first goalie. We changed our goalie back.
We changed our goalie back.
On essaie de brasser les choses du côté des Turbos. Nous sommes revenus avec la gardienne de but. Et comme qu'on expliquait un petit peu plus tôt, beaucoup d'expérience du côté de Gatineau en âge de Ligue nationale. Juste la gardienne de but, Stéphanie Caron, 12 ans de Ligue nationale. Donc, on peut voir l'expérience ici. C'est une des raisons peut-être que Gatineau produit autant dans sa match.
Great shot across the top, just going wide past Reed, who's back in net. She played the first few minutes of the first quarter, had some tough shots against her, resulting in some goals. They put Becky out for a little bit, but now they're back to Reed. A long stretch pass all the way to open ice to Wilson. Wilson picking it up across the top, making so many moves. Getting the shot off, but not enough of an angle to beat Reed. Reed extending herself to get her teammate her ring, but a little too much aggression on that check along the boards will put the Turbos in the box on that particular play.
You think, Emily, that Gatineau is going to start to take their foot off the pedal, or they're going all in?
I think Gatineau would like to keep their foot on the pedal. It is hard when you're looking at an 8-goal spread. This is the last hub before Nationals, so you want to be playing like you want to play at Nationals.
Exactly.
And part of that is being tested here to make sure that you are still consistent in your own play. You're not making silly mistakes. You're continuing that same level of energy and tenacity, so you're not falling into some bad habits before you get into where it really matters in the postseason.
But it's hard for players like Gatineau to stay focused, because, I mean, you don't want to let it slip away, but, you don't want to... It's not easy having big leads like this either.
Gatineau moving the ring around the triangle. 10 seconds on that shot clock. Starting the cycle up top, down low is the pass. Steps right in and fires it. A shot again from Plouffe. Is that her third goal? I think it is.
I think it is.
A hat trick, yeah. Team is signaling. Hat trick for Plouffe. She's had a great morning. That'll be her third goal on the game, bringing her team up to 11. Just another really great opportunity, taking advantage of a bit of a defensive collapse there. A lot of energy in that shot, stepping into the triangle to find that far side post. She knew what she was looking for on that shot.
And we're still staying on power play because it was a 4-minute penalty.
4-minute major will remain. Will be served in its entirety as Fusion makes its way up the ice, getting it over to Chestnut. Chestnut had a look, but she'll make a change. And another thing too, when you have this kind of a spread between goals, is that you want to use some depth to your bench to get players more experienced.
It's a great opportunity to try plays, practice plays.
And Turbos will step right into that loose ring, finding it hard to break out of the zone, but moving it right over to Pedersen. Pedersen tried to take it out of the zone, but is picked off by Fusion. Forrest up top, right in the center of that triangle setup that Chenier was just hunting for. Again, she's the top goal scorer and the top apple grabber. 24 seconds on the shot clock, battle along the boards, and Fusion comes out with it. We're seeing a little bit more depth to who's on ice in this quarter. Just saw Osborne with the ring. Continuing that cycle with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Forrest finding it and feeding it right over to Chenier. Chenier right through the triangle again, seeing a really great look there for St. Laurent, using the space that she has and trying to get past that defensive barrier. Reed getting it off to her teammates and Pedersen passing it behind the net. But she's stuck between the Fusion.
Turbos don't know what how to handle Gatineau no more. The pressure is starting to really cook on them.
Fusion playing a little bit more of a 2-on-1 system, which has its advantages in terms of pressure, but can mean that other players are not necessarily covered. But they've decided to take that and really put the pressure on Turbos, maintaining the ring here. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 1 minute 16 remaining on the penalty to Turbos as they remain shorthanded from that major penalty. Trying to get it over to Newbrand. Moisen finding support over in Wilson. Feeding it down low. Back pass up top. Feeding it right to the side here. Moisen saw nothing. She'll continue to skate. Maintains the ring. Pass it over. Back to Plouffe. Plouffe got the reset right on the post there. Just trying to get extra time on the shot clock to continue this cycle. 35 seconds remain on the penalty to the Turbos. Fusion passing it up top. Forrest looking, takes that shot just up top. Forrest really stepped up on top of that triangle, trying to find the space, just making it a little bit too wide. She'll try again, but Nozzle is batting that ring down, trying to get it on her own stick. And that'll get picked up by Violette. Long pass from behind the net. Lots of time left on the shot clock. Waiting to open up some space over to Forrest.
Penalty's over. 5-on-5. On parlait avec Émilie un petit peu plus tôt comment est-ce que c'est dur de garder sa concentration quand on a un avance aussi prononcé de 9 buts. Ou qu'elle a réussi, la gardienne, 9 buts d'écart. Donc, c'est des bonnes opportunités parfois pour les équipes de pratiquer des jeux.
Oswald tried to get it over to his sister. Bouncing off a skate. Staying strong on that ring. Getting it over to Chenier. Chenier coming in with speed. The triangle's not set up. She fires it low.
Left side.
Just decides to take the opportunity. Saw that net.
But it's a perfect shot.
Perfect shot.
About 1.5 feet from the ice. Killer shot.
And that'll put her up for a hat trick today as well. We've got 2 hat tricks for the Gatineau Fusion. Great way to start off their hometown hub.
Yes. In front of their fans and kids. It's always fun to see a lot of moms that get to the arena with their little kids. Always fun to see mom play in the highest level.
Wyville in with some speed, passing it off, and a shot, trying to make it past Karan. Anderson had a look, and that'll get called for a crease violation. So Turbos will have just squeaked into the crease with a skate.
It's maybe the first or second shot in the period.
Yeah.
For Fusion. Not for, sorry, for the Turbos, excuse me.
Turbos moving the ring down into the corner with lots of speed there.
Oh, yeah.
Chenier had to put on a little bit of brakes so she didn't crash right into the boards with that speed. Tries to get the reset, but picks the ring just as it remains in the crease, so that'll get whistled. It'll go to Reed. Reed will have 5 seconds to toss it. Gets it over to Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy followed very closely by Fusion. Over to Nozzle. Nozzle finding Newbrand across the way. Newbrand bit tight here, but she'll come across the top, fires it low, and that'll put Turbos back up on the board. An amazing cross-ice pass. Newbrand was tight for space against that board, but decided to make the cut around the crease that the triangle hadn't set up yet. She kept that speed going. A seasoned player, knew where she wanted to be, make the fake, and just fired it low. Again, we talked about earlier, the low shots are not necessarily what you're initially taught when being shown how to shoot in ringette. There's a lot of ability to make that fire up top, but those low shots close to the post, 18 inches by the pad, they can be some of the worst for the goaltenders. And Newbrand looking for another one here, just caught up in her skate. She'll get taken down. That'll be a delayed call.
Donc une fois de plus, un peu comme qu'on parlait avec Émilie, qu'est-ce qui marche beaucoup pour les turbos, foncer vers le filet, des tirs ras la glace qui sont payants, des tirs dévastateurs à 18 pouces environ d'atterre. Donc les turbos qui ne lâchent pas, continuent malgré le score de 12-3.
Fusion, Sophie Chenier will be in the box for 2 minutes for tripping. As the Turbos get the ring in the offensive zone, looking to feed it through that triangle. Just a little bit too far. Lodge, she's been looking for an opportunity. Wyville as well. Handing it off to Babineau. This line really wants a goal. They've had a few opportunities to date. Lodge especially liking that short side blocker. Fusion to the center of the ice with Vandal. She had 2 on her. Turbos getting it back to Wyville in the middle. Wyville's got help. And a poke from Vandal keeps that out of play just for enough time to get 2 players in the zone. And a fire up top. Wyville thought she had something there. There was definitely space. Just a little bit too high over top of Karan. And that would be the last opportunity for a goal in this third quarter. A little bit more action there, a little bit more balanced play between Turbos and Fusion. Turbos got a goal here towards the end.
Yep.
Fusion, you know, some of their mainstays, their big names, scoring a lot today as well.
But a lot of pressure from Gatineau, always deep in the zone. Not a lot of up and down, but when Cambridge went up, scored a goal, big goal. Nous allons descendre, quand il va rester environ 2 minutes, nous allons descendre ras la glace. Interviewer la joueuse du match, qui sera sûrement une joueuse de Gatineau. Et le deuxième match de ce hub, qui sera Waterloo contre la Rive-Sud, sera commenté play-by-play par moi. On va alterner Émilie et moi. Donc, restez des nôtres pour cette 4e période qui part à l'instant. Merci, mesdames et messieurs, de nous suivre en direct. Des beaux moments ici pour la ringuette en direct. Les pas de géant qu'on fait dernièrement. Donc, merci tout le monde de nous encourager.
And as we walk into this fourth and final quarter, I think it's a good time to give a quick shout out to the coaching staff on both benches.
Yes.
We're, like we said, we're walking into nationals in just a few short weeks, and they're very much part of these amazing teams. On the Cambridge Turbo side, we got head coach Paul Sunseth, assisted by Jessica Crouch, Debbie Finlay, and Stacy Wright. And on the Fusion, we've got head coach Mark Chenier, assisted by Carrie Hartley, Christian Moisen, and Colleen Hagen. Talented benches all around, both from the ones wearing skates and not. Supporting these teams throughout this season and getting them to the postseason in Ottawa in just a few short weeks. Fusion starting things out here. 10 seconds on the shot clock, passing it around. Plouffe, she's got a hat trick already. Using the ice, using the space, fires it low. Reed got a piece of that.
A small piece of that.
Just enough pad to keep it out of the way. Now that was not, that's a common shot from Plouffe at this point. She knows that's where she needs to be, so good on Reed for making the save on that one. Fusion, Plouffe back in center. Looking for support. Turbo's trying to match their players, provide some pressure. Osborne skating along the boards. Nozzle trying to keep her away with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Fusion looking for the cycle. Getting that right onto Reed. She wasn't necessarily expecting it, but she got it. As the ring bounces out into play, so Fusion picks that back up. Going out for a bit of a change, looking for the support in the neutral zone. Seagal. Forrest stretching all the way over. 8 seconds on the shot clock, trying to break through the triangle, gets it on the edge of the goalie. And a collision behind the net will result in a penalty here. Looks like body contact against Fusion. So that'll give the Turbos some opportunity for a player advantage. We've seen them in the goals that they've scored, 2 of the 3 goals they've scored, they've pulled their goalie.
Exactly.
And here they go, they're pulling their goalie again.
Exactly.
Playing the 4-on-3 in the zone, boxing things out outside the triangle. It's worked twice, it could work a third time.
Third time's a charm.
Exactly.
On retire du côté des Turbos la gardienne de but. Déjà 2 buts comptés quand on a retiré la gardienne en avantage numérique. Donc, comme on dit en anglais, third time's a charm.
Turbos with 4 in the zone, goalies out of the net on the bench. If the goalie returns, they have to take someone out of the zone as quickly as possible, otherwise it's a violation. But they'll work with this here as the triangle falls apart. Wyman's taking advantage, trying to pass it off. Right over to Anderson, she just misses that pass. Great opening there, the triangle completely disintegrated right on that play. Again, Turbo scoring 2 on that 4-on-3 opportunity, but again, to put goalie back out, that player needs to leave the zone. And so Reed is back in her net. If you pull the goalie, you can add a 6th player to the ice. Nice shot saved by Reed. Right again, looking for that 5-hole. St. Laurent trying to find that opening. And a pass up front. With a bouncing ring, harder to stab those ones. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Nozzle to Newbrand. Newbrand fires it with a lot of power. Just needed to be a little bit lower, but stays back for the pressure. Perron basically gives her the ring. She fires it. A gift from Perron results in a goal from Newbrand. That tenacity there, just firing at top shelf, right past Perron. Bit of a bad play from Perron. Not necessarily what she was looking for, but sometimes you have to make those snap decisions, and that's what happens. You've got a seasoned player like Newbrand picking things up, finding the space. They had, 2 defense back. Wasn't a full triangle, and she had a perfect look basically to herself in front of the net.
But the goalie was back in her net, so third time wasn't a charm.
But maybe they'll try it again as they start creeping up. Now with 4 goals, seeing some energy here. Now there's
Yeah,
a 2-on-1, maybe 3-on-1 opportunity. Here we go. Moving it inside. Back to Newbrand. Newbrand fires it. Just off her stick, a little bit too low. I can tell that she might not have picked that up the whole ring at that point. Not getting enough firing power on it.
The goalie well played the game.
Absolutely. Newbrand clearly hunting for another one. They have pulled their goalie again, 4-on-3. Faking it, moving it around the box. Nozzle backhand over to Lodge. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Nozzle. Nozzle trying to pick it up. Fusion will take it instead. Reed's got to skate back out. Like I said earlier, was partially in the way of explaining. You can put a 6th player out if you pull your goalie. At this point, most teams probably won't because the goalie needs to be able to get back onto the ice if the ring moves back into the zone. And taking that player off takes time. And so usually we'll just add the 4th player into the zone rather than having 3, but the goalie will be on the bench, but she's able to skate back in time as Reed just did.
Tough save.
And that'll be a crease violation from Fusion, so Reed again started the game off a little bit in the first period, had a few shots against her that went past, traded it up for Becky, but then she came in to close this one off. Couple key saves just there, keeping away further spread from Fusion. Fusion now playing almost a 3-on-1, putting all their players in a similar area to try and push that ring away from the Turbos. It works as the pass is forced across the blue line. No one was there to pick it up, so Fusion will take it. Coming across with speed over to Plouffe. Plouffe getting stopped up, but finds a way to put the ring right through the feet, but Shaughnessy fighting her way through, getting that support. Babineau calling for it.
Pulling the goalie once more. Cambridge they still want their goals.
Absolutely.
Cambridge is all in still. We're trying to close the gap. Pull the goalie once more. See what it gives. La gardienne. On joue beaucoup avec la gardienne de but du côté de Cambridge. Cambridge qui débarque pas leur pied de la pédale. C'est pas fini.
Fusion feeling the heat from the Turbos as they get it out of their zone. Coming in with speed is Chenier. Chenier, she's got a hat trick on this one. And a great stick pass, thwarting that long stretch pass that was supposed to go to the other end of the ice. Turbos now fighting to maintain that ring and get it out of their territory. Lots happening in the neutral zone. Starting that cycle, trying to get something happening. Wyville had it, signaling to her teammates to start moving. Reset for the shot clock. Pulling the goalie again. Reed's getting a bit of a skate here today.
Yeah.
Good exercise for her. Back on the 4-on-3 box. An active stick pushes that ring. And Wyville cutting across, making a big shot. Caron catches that with her glove. Just enough of it to go over top of the net instead of through it. And Fusion will pass it to their own goalie for safe protection. Pressure here from Turbos. They are not giving up here.
No.
They are playing as if it's a much tighter game. And it can be if they continue this energy. Fusion, however, now in the neutral zone. Looking for an outlet. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Finding Morsen over.
Oh.
And Reed just gets a piece of that as well. Sliding over to her post. Trying to find the ring there. Manages to keep it out of the net. And the shot clock will expire. Reed will get her pass. Easy drop behind the net. Sunseth seeing a lot of blue jerseys. Using her partner to pass things through. Newbrand gets picked off. Ring goes flying back into the zone. Enough power on that that Reed can pick it up in her crease.
Oh, dangerous.
A delayed call on Fusion for that play. There just was a bit too much of the body involved in that check.
Yep.
Now rings down to Nozzle in the corner. 17 seconds on that shot clock. She's looking for a bit of a cycle here. Back to Wyville. Wyville's looking for a goal. Signaling to her team with her hand where she wants them to be. Passing it to Nozzle. Nozzle down to Nozzle and a fire right on the corner, taking advantage of that box. This time the box was because of the delayed call.
Exactly. Big blocker save by the goal. C'est ça qu'est-ce qu'on disait un petit peu plus tôt aussi. La défensive de Cambridge qui me semble un petit peu plus poreuse, contrairement à celle de Gatineau. On réussit à se placer en fille de coin facilement du côté de Gatineau, qui a causé beaucoup de buts jusqu'à maintenant. Des déplacements des gardiennes a été la clé de Gatineau.
Turbos again, goaltender pulled. 4 in the zone. And only 5 on the ice for right now. 4 on the ice for Fusion due to the penalty. Fusion trying to make a go at that loose ring, but a quick shot off for the reset by Babineau. Moving it across to Nozzle. Nozzle faking it, seeing some sticks, trying to get that ring back, but just a tenacious check there from Siegel. She knew where that ring was going to be and decided that she was going to have it herself. Fusion using the support, stretching all the way across to Siegel. And Sydney Nozzle is going to get called for that. I think that one was more bad place, bad time.
Yeah.
They're going to call it. That'll be a 4-on-4 now. Reed's back in her net because the ring is in Turbo's zone. And they want to, bench wants to have a conversation with the official. Probably to ask what the call was about. Usually what that means. I don't think I've ever, in my many decades of playing this sport, I don't think I've ever seen a coach convince a ref to turn around a call. But
no.
You know, it's part of the whole conversation to understand what it is that they saw and apply that thinking to the game.
It's a small technique for a short timeout.
Get a little bit of a breather. Yep,
Between
absolutely.
you and me. Between you and me, sometimes it's a good opportunity to catch our breath, restructure.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just exhausted watching them. I'm not even playing right now. Again, if you're tuning into this one and you're seeing a 12-4 game, it's not necessarily been like that. Turbo's putting up a fight here. Lots of energy still.
Yeah.
Fusion just finding more opportunities. Bit of a goaltender change back and forth for Turbos, but
I don't have the shots on goal with me, but I'm telling you, it's even if you look at the score, 12-4, it must be very, very tight on the shots and goal.
Turbos trying to get it out of their zone. Right up to Lodge. Lodge has space herself, but doesn't have someone to pass it to, and a big stop there from Newbrand to not put it over the line. Impressive skating skills. Back to Lodge. Lodge seeing with some speed here. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Does the fake over to Newbrand. Newbrand spinning and moving. Gets the backhand over on Caron, but a bit too tight. But Caron again gives her that ring. That's how Newbrand scored one of her previous goals. A gift from that exact angle from Caron. She needs to definitely watch those passes. We have 6 seconds remaining on the penalty to Fusion, which will expire and give Fusion the player advantage as Turbos try to skate around, make something happen in the zone. 55 seconds remain on the penalty to Sid Nozzle. Back pass to Sunset. Sunset, the firing shot from the Turbos. Goalie was in the net. 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Just a beautiful quick pass from Sunset.
Great shot. Nice passing. To be sincere, I don't find that the score reflects necessarily what's on the ice. Yes, Gatineau are a stronger team. We can see a bit, but I mean, Cambridge is working. They're not stopping.
Paige Nozzle putting her team into closer range here. She's the team's top goal scorer, one of them anyway. Great step up from her as Fusion now looks to reconnect here in the offensive zone. 28 seconds remain on the penalty to Turbos. Fusion trying to get something around the triangle, staying a little bit outside. Reed captures it, no problem. And Fusion's gonna go to the box here. Body contact, just again, a little bit too rough on that play, I think, in the boards. It sounded worse than it was. There was definitely that big boom. So no one was hurt on that one. But Mossen asking the question of why was that a call?
So Emily, I'm gonna thank you for this first game. I'm gonna go down on the ice to pass an interview of the player of the game, which will probably be a player from Gatineau. So thank you very much for our first game. And people at home, stay tuned for the next game. Revolution versus Wildfire. Thank you, Emily.
See you in a bit. We'll have player of the game coming to you with an interview after this quarter ends. We will bring that to you. But in the meantime, Turbo's playing the 4-corner box again. Goalie's out. We're 4-on-4 here because both teams had the penalty, but time has just expired for Sid Nozzle. So back to 5-on-4. Turbos with full advantage, no goalie. Passing it around, Wyville, she's looking. 2 seconds on the shot clock, can't get something off, just missing those passes. Ring will go to Caron. Caron just behind the net. Turbos trying to pick that off. Not letting it go easy. Lodge back to Wyville. Wyville coming in with some speed. Cutting through, takes the shot, and a big save from Caron. Just catching that with her skate blade. She didn't quite get the full slide there. Wyville had so much speed, and she's been looking a lot this game to try and make something happen. So massive save from Caron. Got to be frustrating. But now a sliding pass, back shot from Nozzle. Fusion was not there. Nozzle just snuck in behind the play. Had a behind the back shot. A bit too tight to the post. Turbo's showing signs of big life here. Boxing it out, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Big save there again on the toe of Caron. McGillen had a look. McGillen. Right down low. Back up top. Passing it. Trying to break up that triangle, create more space right in the center, and it bounces off a skate of Nozzle, and it's right past the pads of Caron. I don't think Nozzle even knew that that may have happened. She looked shocked as I was. So she didn't kick the ring in. It bounced off her skate as they were trying to create a little bit more space in the triangle using that box, basically deflecting it in. For viewers at home, we don't like to compare this sport to hockey, but in comparison to hockey, ringette doesn't necessarily take, we don't really use the deflections. It's not necessarily part of our gameplay, but that was a really great example of a deflection opportunity resulting in a goal. 30 seconds remain in this period. Fusion trying to make a last effort here, tight to the crease. Great save from Reed. Staying sharp. Ring goes to Fusion. Anderson trying to get it into Newbrand. Newbrand picks it up, fires it. And that's another goal with 11 seconds remaining for the Turbos. They are still alive. Newbrand just caught it into her feet. A little bit of a short pass there, but skill prevails. She picks up that ring and just fires it into the low corner. Defense just missing that. Makes no mistake. Turbos again haven't won more. They've only won one regulation game this season, but that doesn't mean that they don't play well. They've been showing really great energy, some great opportunities, and again, that last goal with 11 seconds remaining in the period takes us to the end of this one. They will see Fusion again in an upcoming game this weekend to close off the regular season, but Fusion take this win 12-7. Turbos again showing some signs of life towards the second half of this game. A few goals off of the early goalie pull, but Fusion taking advantages of those small mistakes, finding more space between the pads, and Karan standing on her head quite a few times to make sure that this lead stayed with Fusion. We'll have a player of the game interview coming up with Louis Nagy. Thank you, folks, for joining us on our very first East Hub CBC broadcast. A historic weekend for our wonderful sport. And for those of you that are just learning ringettes, welcome. We're happy to have you. Please stick around. There will be lots of games today. And we'd love to have you as a longtime fan of the sport as well. So stick around. There's lots more action coming up. Lots of competitive teams. This is the National Ringette League. Highest form of play there is for our wonderful sport, which just celebrated its 62nd year. Lots of great history with these teams. Again, we're just getting sorted here for a post-game interview here at the Slush Puppy Center in Gatineau, Quebec. I've had the pleasure of calling this game with my French friend Louis. And he's about to do the interview. 2 hat tricks on the Fusion bench for today. Fusion coming away again with 12 goals. A lot of those came from Emily Chenier, but also Sarah Plouffe. Players of the game are being announced. And for the Fusion, it looks like we have Taylor Forrest. We'll go down to Louis.
When you're leading by such a big score during the game?
Definitely just to keep the energy up on the bench is definitely super important, just because having that energy on the ice so you don't get down and you just keep the energy up, keep going. Just to stay calm and keep playing.
That's good. What does it mean for you guys of passing on CBC and all the media around this last hub? What does it mean for you guys?
Oh, it's so amazing. I think it's so cool because Ringette, it doesn't get that much recognition, and this is like amazing for us to get this much recognition on CBC. It's so cool.
It's a great platform. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good season.
Yes.
Thanks. Thank you.
Ringette Canada est fier d'être le premier organisme sportif au Canada de s'affilier au Ability Center sous la bannière de Mixed Ability Sport Canada. Notre but est de créer un modèle de sport inclusif qui va contribuer et améliorer la santé mentale, sociale et physique de tous les Canadiens.
We started the first Ringette team for children of different abilities, children with physical and cognitive disabilities. So that's how it started, and then it just evolved to having no barriers to participation. And now we're a mixed ability team where we have all levels, all ages of participants, and it is absolutely amazing.
Good job. You got it. You're a rock star.
RFA has given our kids an opportunity to play with a bunch of kids and build friendships that they wouldn't have otherwise had.
It's been a real booster for her to feel like she's part of a group and that they're having fun and they're playing, they're learning.
Yes.
When I first started playing, I got my best friend's old ringette stick, and she saved a bunch of goals in that stick for me, and I ended up getting my first wrist shot with that stick.
Il y a un impact sur la confiance de soi, sur notre santé mentale, notre santé physique, mais sur une équipe d'habileté mixte, ces bénéfices sont amplifiés encore plus. Nous avons un groupe complètement divers depuis les dernières quelques années. Nous avons des enfants avec handicap cognitif, handicap physique.
A lot of our skaters are just learning how to skate, which is a good thing. I just love how they're developing every single season.
We'll need you out there anyways.
Yes.
Right? We'll need you out there.
All right. Now remember the volunteer goal.
Hi, my name is Jade and we're in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. We are at the Air Tindy float base here in Yellowknife Territories at this beautiful outdoor rink playing some ringette with Ringette Canada. Yeah, this is the best day of my life. I haven't played ringette for over a year since my last game with Laurentian. So for Ringette Canada to bring ringette to Yellowknife, this absolutely made my day. I think everybody should play ringette and it's great to see it here in the Northwest Territories.